Rachel Legends, welcome to the video. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. This goes back like 5 videos ago, but thank you for all the aquarium advice after we had, well, fish aside. The entire fish tank wiped out, and it's been a while, but I was actually reading through the comments, and a lot of you guys with some nice advice for me, some words of encouragement. I will have you all know that things are going very well in the fish tank after my son painstakingly named every fish, humanified. Is that a word? Humanified? All the fish, gave their hobbies, their interests, and then they were all dead the next day. Anyway, guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at Lord Entertainer Fabian. I'm going to give you the definitive top 5 builds in order for Lord Fabian, depending on where you are in your account, what you can accomplish. I'm also going to go ahead and give you, now that the dust has settled a little bit, give you my full honest assessment of this champion, not just the first day or the second day when I initially put out the first video. That being said, my opinion has not really changed that much, but I've had a lot of time to use him. Used him a lot in live arena, still hanging on to the top 100. I think I'm 75 right now in live arena seasons, and I'm starting to use a little bit of Fabian, even without empowerment or blessings. Actually, 1-star blessing on my Fabian. Anyway, really quickly, we're not going to go through his kit like at length here because you guys probably already know, if you have him, kind of what he does, but let me just talk about some of the highlights that may be a little bit more than meets the eye at first glance on this champion. So first of all, really good speed at 109 with a speed in all battles aura. We love to see that, right? Having the speed on a champion that you clearly want to go first or second after your speed booster on your team, having that nice base speed, but then the aura on top of that, that alleviates the necessity to find that speed aura, or if you're playing live arena, to have it not banned on the enemy team. You have another option there. So that's really good. On his A1, it's really nice. A steel turn meter on each hit, 10% steel. That's really, really good. True fear for 2 turns if the turn meter is fully depleted. Solid A1 ability. On the A2, attacks one enemy with the petrification. The true fear for 2 turns on all enemies who are not under fear or true fear. Very strong on a 3-turn cooldown. The fact that it activates whenever a fear or true fear successfully uses a skill, like it doesn't proc, is absolutely insane and very annoying to go against. The highlight of his kit, by far his best ability, and it's just absolutely insane. Put it up there with other S+ tier abilities in this game. It is that good, and that's the Spectral Flourish ability. Why is it so good? A few different reasons, right? Obviously. Attacks all enemies before attacking. These 2 words are super important. Odds are you know why, but just in case you don't, before attacking, 100% chance of decreasing the cooldown of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. This happens before the attack, thus weak hits are not going to be an issue here, right? So we get before the attack, we can decrease all of their buffs, and obviously the decreased duration of buffs is not a check for polymorph, so he cannot be sheeped on this ability, and a weak hit will not prevent the cooldown as well because it happens before he attacks. That's just the starter here of what makes this one of the most broken abilities in the game. 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns. Yes, please. That's a Yameko or Crixia-like ability there in terms of a lockout. Grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after this attack. That allows you, when things go right, if you remove all those stone skins or whatever, which is fairly easy to do given how strong and which order of operations the kit kind of works, or the A3 kind of works, right? No buffs, you go into the A2, you true fear everybody, you petrify somebody. Petrification is going to remove all of their buffs as well. It's insane. You do get the damage mitigation as well, but they can't be buffed. You're going to remove their buffs. They're going to lose their turn. It's very, very powerful. You put it all together, it's insane, but we're not even done. The Ghost with the most. I love the name of that passive, man. The Ghost with the most. Props to whoever named these abilities. I know you're watching out there. I wonder if they are. Anyway, whenever an enemy's revived, place a true fear on that enemy for 2 turns. That's so annoying, man. That's so good. This is a revive meta if we've ever had one. There's Marichkas all over the place. Everybody's reviving. Odin's reviving, right? Even non-revivers, Lazarius, are reviving. This is super strong. And then remove CC debuffs, everything except for sheep. It's just going to be removed from this dude at the start of his turn. That is so strong. That is such a nasty little addition to an already nasty kit. He, in my mind, I ranked him, I think, the 5th or the 6th best legendary in the arena right now in my last ranking video. That was only a few days after he was released. I think he's actually going to be higher, especially when people start getting those higher awakenings for Fabian. Today, let's go through the top 5 builds. Then we'll have a little bit of fun in the arena as well. It is reset day, so I apologize. I'm not super high, nor is Live Arena open right now, but we'll have some fun in a few teams as well for Fabian. But first, let's take a look at him here. But before I do, let's talk about Masteries. So, Masteries on Fabian. These are the Masteries that I'm using. These are the Masteries that I had since day 1 on my Fabian. Now, take into consideration a few kind of things that are flexible, right? That you may go with on your builds, right? This is specifically for Arena, but this dude is a monster at wave control. Have you used him for dungeons in Shranos, Doom Tower, wherever wave control? He's one of the best out there in the game. He's just dishing out fears, on true fears, on petrifications, on lockouts. He really is up there with Armons in terms of the ability to control your enemy, remove their buffs, everything all in one champion. So I went defense, I went support. Now you have a few choices to make here. Number 1 is going to be Lore of Steel, right? Now a couple of the builds that I give you, you'll be better off with Lore of Steel than Cycle of Magic, for example, right? Lore of Steel will give you that stat boost on all the basic sets, including, you know, perception and speed and whatnot. That's going to be significant when every ounce of speed, every 1 speed is going to count on this dude. Stat priorities, speed and accuracy. That's it. Speed, accuracy, survivability, but speed with a capital S on this guy, right? So Lore of Steel is going to be important for a lot of builds. Not all, obviously. They're not basic sets, but a lot. Pinpoint, or Eagle Eye, excuse me, is going to be, to me, the go-to, the obvious choice. Even personally, if I was running him in both PvE and PvP, I would still sacrifice War Master, Offensive Tree, and I would just run him in the same build with Eagle Eye personally, okay? The other choice that we have here is Cycle of Revenge. We can go Cycle of Revenge instead of Deterrence, right? I like Retribution and I like Deterrence on this champion because I love those counterattacks, stealing turn meter. If you can get it stolen, if you can steal the stolen turn meter and they have no turn meter, you get the True Fear as well. So I love those sneaky little counterattacks on my Lord Entertainer Fabian, okay? So those are the masteries that we're going with here. Let's talk quickly about blessing recommendations here. So I'm rocking Polymorph on my Lord Entertainer Fabian, but you have a few options. Now I have a 4-star awakened Lord Entertainer here. However, if I only had him 1-star with a few of these builds specifically, right, I would definitely pick up, and everybody needs to know this, Lightning Cage is one of, if not the most powerful blessings in the game if you've only got 1-star on a champion, right? As long as they're going to have buffs that you want to protect, which is the case with a lot of champions, man, it's strong, right? So Pinpoint, Stone Skinny type champions, you want to put them with a 1-star blessing, that's really good. Because check out Lightning Cage, right? Lightning Cage gains 1 lightning orb stack whenever an enemy receives a buff. 50% chance to protect a buff from being stolen, removed, or transferred. That chance, you know, it goes up to 75% at 5, but a 50% chance is really good, and that's available just at 1-star. It is the most powerful 1-star blessing in the game. In my opinion, it is a little bit situational, but don't sleep on Lightning Cage. Very good, right? If you want him to go first, if he's your speed lead, if you find yourself using him a lot, or if you're lacking other speed leads on your team, throw Lord Fabian in your intimidating presence, right? I try not to play any team without 1 champion in intimidating presence if I can. That would be a very viable option, right? If you have like a 3, 4, or 5-star awakening like I do, I kind of prefer Polymorph, right? Get that. He's going to have a lot of accuracy anyway, so get those sheeps out there, right, on Fabian. But if you have a 6-star awakening on your, if you're lucky enough to have a perfect 6-star awakening, you go Temporal Chains. Temporal Chains, I don't want to say it's only good at 6 stars, but it's very good at 6 stars, and it's kind of meh, you know, up until then. Because at 6 stars, you instantly decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 15% whenever an enemy receives, one enemy, a 3rd active buff. Moreover, you get all the decreased speed for each active buff they're under as well. It's a really, really nasty control, complement to a build, right? So those are my favorite blessings for Lord Fabian. Lightning Cage for 1, Temporal Chains for 6, 3, 4, 5, consider Polymorph, and then you can use Intimidating Presence no matter what you have if you don't have it already in your squad, okay? Talk about relics really quickly here. Molten Deathbell on my Fabian. This is a nice little rare relic here. Wears turn meter increases by 10% when applying True Fear, right? And Petrification as well. This is very strong on Lord Fabian for obvious reasons. Plus, we get the accuracy stat as well. That's what we're looking for, speed and accuracy. Now, obviously, any other legendary or mythical relic, if you're lucky enough to have any, that have speed and accuracy on them are going to be fantastic. I will give a quick shout out to a legendary that maybe, who knows how the community voting goes at the time of this recording, maybe everybody will end up having at some point. But it's the Wand of Submission. Wand of Submission is very strong, especially on Lord Fabian. We have a chance to reflect back sheep. Sheep can be an issue with Lord Fabian. He's dishing out, especially the longer the battle goes on. Not with the A3, but everything else, as passive as A1, as A2, he's dishing out debuffs all over the place, right? It's instantly activating the A2 as well. So we want some protection, and Wand of Submission is one of the strongest ones out there. Wand of Submission is a weird one because if we choose that as the community relic, which I think we should, I think it's the strongest of the relics personally, because we get the speed as the second stat as well. We get accuracy as the third stat, but no one's ever going to max a relic. I've never seen a maxed relic. Do any of you guys have one? Either way, though, this is very strong on an Armand's, on a debuffer, right? Generally, you reflect it back, all those sheeps. Very strong. Strong on anybody, but it's very strong on those champions. Okay, so we talked a lot. Let's talk about the artifacts. The top 5. All right, I lied. I'm going to give you number 1 out the gate because I don't want to change all the gear around. Number 1 build is going to be Stone Skin and Supersonic. Trust me, they're not all going to be super hard to pull off all of these builds, but I want to give you what I'm seeing the most inside top arena, and then we'll just kind of go down from there depending on what you can pull off on your account. Why is Supersonic so strong on this champion? Why is Stone Skin? Well, Stone Skin, we want some way to keep this dude alive, obviously, right? You can't guarantee, even if you're an endgame Kraken, you can't guarantee you're always going to go first. There's always someone out there faster than you. Even though I'm sitting in top 75 live arena, I'm going against dudes that have 480 speed. I can't pull that off, right? So I need mechanisms to cut in line. That's where Supersonic comes in. Supersonic, not just Lord Fabian, but a 4-piece Supersonic, and you guys should have enough gear now to be able to pull this off. Is it good enough gear? That's something that you have to figure out, but you should have fast Supersonic gear. Only takes 4, and you can use your accessories. Don't sleep on your ring and your amulet. Easy pickings there, right? That's 2 right out the gate. Fills his champion's turn meter by 2% per each buff on each enemy. This is the ultimate cut in line mechanic, right? This can be the difference between a win and a loss, right? You get massive turn meter fill. 6, 12, 18, 24% turn meter fill when Siffy goes ahead of him. That happens a lot. And then what happens? As long as she's not in protection, Fabian comes in there, 9-piece or whatever, a lot of protection, right? 50%, it still works. He comes in there and boom, he cuts in line, all the buffs are gone, and all their skills are off cooldown, right? So Supersonic is very, very strong. Probably don't need me to tell you that, but just in case, maybe you're a new player, maybe you haven't gotten or tried Supersonic enough yet, or captured the true potential, use Supersonic. Super strong. Stone Skin keeps him alive because, hey, it's not always going to work out. Sometimes that other Fabian or whoever is going to go ahead of you, and you might need some protection. Maybe the nukers. Fabian's probably a bad example, but maybe the nukers, maybe the whole team, maybe Shuzen comes in, and nukes are aplenty coming at you, right? So having some survivability is going to be a good thing. So Stone Skin as well. So stat priorities, no matter how we build our Armands, or excuse me, our Fabian, Freudian slip there, right? 2 annoying control arena champions. One was the 5th anniversary, one was the 6th anniversary. Thanks, Plarium. Thank you. Appreciate that. Honestly, I'm a fan of these champions, even though most of you guys aren't. So the speed is very lacking here for endgame, but we sacrifice the speed to get him in the Supersonic and in the Stone Skin. I don't have my best gear on Armands, but I have good gear on Armands. So speed and accuracy, again, those are the 2 priorities. We can get by with a little bit less speed, but we want for 297, and it depends on where you are in the game, we want somebody boosting into him. It's not going to be fast enough on his own, right? So an Arbiter or whoever, our bias is very good because she gives the increased accuracy as well. So those are some options for you, or that's the stats, I should say. Really quickly, we have have just, you know, I'm taking whatever I can get. I like accuracy as a main stat and an ascension stat on the chest, no matter what I'm using here. So I have a stone skin accuracy on the chest. Obviously, speed and the boots are going to be the way to go. I have kind of a crummy banner on him right now. I mean, it's not bad, 22 speed, but we want accuracy as that ascension stat as well. That's going to be imperative, but look at yours truly. I went on a spending spree. And look at, I mean, like in-game spending spree on my chaos power, not like money spending. And I'm out of chaos powder. So I need to farm some Shogun again, guys. But we want accuracy and as much speed as we can possibly get, right? Obviously, a 4-piece plus a 4-piece is 8 pieces. We have 1 flex spot. For most players, I think you should use that as your banner, unless you're just having a sick, godlike banner that's one of these sets that we point out here. All right, build number 2 is going to be simply the fastest you can possibly build Fabian on your account, right? So I put my best speed gear on Fabian. I don't have him again awakened or empowered or super awakened and empowered. And I have 380 speed. I don't want to totally negate accuracy, so you might have to make some choices there. Maybe you downgrade the speed a little bit. That's what I did on the chest piece, just to get the accuracy or attack accuracy. I'd rather accuracy, honestly. But, you know, you got to make do with what you have. That's the reality that we all face, no matter where our account is in Raid Shadow Legends. But anyway, just the best speed gear. That's it. It could be speed. It could be perception. It could be a combination of everything. Now, 380 speed that I have right now can actually get a little bit faster, because what we would do is, yeah, let's put on a little bit of Pinpoint. Man, just having those two, isn't that beautiful? Just having the Pinpoint on there. Granted, I did get a speed banner, but I sacrificed more accuracy. That's iffy, that amount of accuracy. But I was able to get the speed up to 403. This is, now we're talking, right? Now we got a really good shot. And if I have a speed booster going into Fabian, he's going to be good, especially if I pick up the increased accuracy with a Marius or somebody else on the squad. But granted, Marius isn't going to be going ahead of him unless we have Shuzen. I digress, right? 403 speed. As much speed and accuracy as you can possibly come up with on your account. With this build, again, I think I'd probably have to take that banner off. It's a really good one, but it's defense, you know. I really need that accuracy, because I don't think 446 is going to get that much done against the tankier units. But hey, you might want to make that sacrifice to ensure that you go first. So build number 2 is just your very best speed gear. Build number 3. This one's pretty simple. It's 4-piece Pinpoint. It's 4-piece Stone Skin. You get that protection, like we talked about with Stone Skin on the first build. We're trading off the Supersonic and the ability to cut in line for some protection from the Sheep debuffs with the Pinpoint. Sheep, as I said, after that first move, it's going to be a consideration, right? So having that Pinpoint on him, I'd probably also go with Lightning Cage in this build for some extra protection on our buffs. But yeah, man, Pinpoint Stone Skin, you're going to have a very well-protected Armons. So again, you can see the build here. We went 2 Pinpoint accessories, 2 Pinpoint pieces on the top here, looking for as much accuracy and as much speed as I could pull off on my account. And there it is. Only 310 speed, 570 accuracy. Again, it sounds like a lot, but for the end game, it's pretty lacking. But the good news is, with 310 speed, I could probably double speed boost into a Fabian, run a super fast team, have him set the table for my nuker, and he's got a lot of protection. He's not going to be a sheep for a while, for a while being the operative word, and he's got that Stone Skin as well to help him get through to his first turn, right? So that's build number 3, Pinpoint Stone Skin. Build number 3, though, not number 1, not number 2. I still prefer the Supersonic or all-out speed to this build personally. I'm willing to make the sacrifice, because if he goes first, right, if he's super fast, right, if he goes first with the Supersonic or the all-speed build, usually you're in pretty good shape if you can execute that A3 to win the battle, sometimes very, very quickly. So I take the riskier road, but usually the dividends are worth it. Build number 4. Build number 4 is going to be Feral. It's going to be a 6-piece Feral build, right? 6-piece Feral is going to give us the block debuffs at the start of the turn, which is nice. He does have that cleanse on the passive, but it's still very nice to have. And then on the 6-piece, we get a 50% chance to block the polymorph. This is obviously going to be the best way to deal with sheep, but it is only a coin flip. It's a 50-50 proposition there. So that's why it's my 4th favorite build, right? I don't think that 50% is enough. on Feral. I think Feral is one of the best sets out there in the game, don't get me wrong, but for other reasons. The 4-piece, all that accuracy, the speed. I do love the 9-piece, super broken, super busted, insane. But the actual 50% to block polymorph, it's not my favorite. You have to make a lot of sacrifices to get a 6-piece on a champion. That being said, I like to mitigate some of the lack of protection by going on my accessories on this particular build with triple reaction if you have it. As much reaction gear as you can get. So reaction, reaction, reaction as fast as possible, and then 6-piece Feral is my 4th favorite build. But you can see, man, I had to make some trade-offs here. He is very slow considering he doesn't have the stone skin protection or anything like that, right? We're not going to go first with 270 speed, not on my account, not where I'm playing. So it's a consideration, but it is also a very interesting build that can provide you that protection. If you have somebody to protect your Fabian, I don't know, Necrit or something on the team, maybe you have a UDK, maybe you have a more defensive-oriented team, this could be a very viable build for your Lord Fabian at number 4. Let's look at number 5. Okay, guys, build number 5 is, ignore kind of the hangers over here. I couldn't add it on for whatever reason, but it's going to be stun, actually. Yeah, build number 5 is stun. This is kind of a curveball move that you can do to surprise your opponent. Keep in mind, he is going in with a buff removal and an AoE. Sure, he has fears and true fears on his passive, on his A1, on his A2, but you can really double down on what you're able to do with control by putting a stun set and stone skin on Lord Entertainer Fabian, right? Again, it's a bit more of an unorthodox build for you guys. It's certainly not a meta build, but in similar ways, we're used to remove buffs and land stuns with a Mighty Uko, right? Back in the day. Well, you can do that with Fabian as well. So you can get back into the stuns, both on the A2, on the A3, the AoE. You're setting the table anyway by removing those buffs, so it is a consideration for Fabian. Again, it's not meta, it's not number 1, but wanted to give you guys something a little bit unorthodox. Now, I would go with stun, prioritizing again speed and accuracy with stone skin. I would go stone skin, and then 2 stone skins on the accessories as well, still to give him that protection. Let's go ahead and jump into the arena with the number 1 build and see what we can do with our Fabian. Here we go. So guys, here we are. We've got a little squad here on our hands, right? We have 2 teams lined up for you guys. First, a very, very fast Arbiter team, and then we have a Fortis team. Fortis is very fun. I showed you him in my very first video the day he was released as well. Not Fortis, but Fabian. But he has a chance to increase the skill failing on all fears and true fears by 15 additional percentage. So now we're rocking a 65% chance, only a 35% chance the enemies even get a turn with those true fears and fears. So really, really cool combination. Fortis, I still don't think is good enough to be meta in the game, but he's definitely fun. You can have a lot of fun with this dude. All right, here we go. So Siffy does go first. That's fantastic. She gives a little speed boost, but look what happened there. The other Siffy went next, but we cut in line because of all those buffs. Thus, Armand's didn't get a chance to go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of Supersonic. Watch all of those buffs go away except for Narcissus. Now he's sheeped. That's going to happen a lot on any build unless you have, again, the Feral on there, right? But let's go ahead and go in with some Fortis action. What does he have? See, I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't love that damage on Fortis. I don't love that damage considering, like, he's a Void Lego, man. He's a Void Lego. Let's make him smack, right? Now we can have the Astral Terrors. This should wipe everybody, right? Oh, man, really? Really? Am I the only one who's just like, listen, Fabian should be the best thing that ever happened to Fortis ever, right? I mean, he's insane. Like, it should be the match made in heaven, but it's just not. All right, see the true fear? I love that. Let's go ahead and petrify our man. Oh, yeah, she's going to steal it. My bad. King and Queen, probably not the best first example here. But look at all these fears and true fears. We're going to go ahead and steal some turn meter there from Narcissus. Then we're going to go ahead and put the sleep on her. Let's go ahead and shield the team. We're going to get a block revive on our Mithrala, but we're going to go back in. I love that he goes in there. Armand's did get his turn. Comes back in there, picking on poor Fabian. Not cool, not cool. Let's go ahead and Siffy, end him. There we go. Let's go ahead and steal some of that turn meter. Hopefully, if we get, I got one there. That's cool. Now can we finish? Okay, that was a pretty hard-hitting one there. So there it is. That was actually a really fun team. I'm not going to lie. I don't mean to take shots at Fortis. I just want, like, listen, for that sort of a setup, You need to unlock a secret skill. You need to land the fears. You need to not get them cleansed. Like, I want a big payoff. You know? I want a big payoff. That's not exactly a huge payoff. Let's go with the Arbiter team here, right over here. Oh, you guys know, I can't get through a video nowadays without showing off Sir Artemage, man. Did a whole video on this dude on my Raid Shadow Legends Guides channel. He smacks. He smacks. He's just kind of a one-dimensional epic nuker. He's not like the best in the game. I'm not saying everybody go run out and max him right away, but boy, is he fun, man. He's a cool champion. Now, this is a strategy that I talked about earlier in the video. Sometimes you're just not going to be able to pull off one of these builds and have him fast enough to ensure he goes second. So, add another speed booster to your team. I have Arbiter handing off to her High Elven sister in Lysandra. Now we can energize, go in, and now we can ensure that we go next and reduce the cooldowns of all the enemy skills. All right. Does he have ignore defense? Cool. Let's see. Artemage, I just talked a big game, and you're going against tanks on tanks on tanks on tanks. Let's see if you can pick off Glacier. Whew. Of course you can, man. It's not going to let anybody down, this dude. Sure, they revive, but we get some true fear. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's try to decrease turn meter of good old, what's-his-face there. I think we can just go in and petrify Leo. That way, we can mitigate his passive, right? Super cool. Go in. Now they're in a tough position here. Because of, well, because of obvious reasons. They're all dead, and they don't have a revive up right now. Go in, finish him. Oh, Sir Artemage. His A1 is just mad, but his A3, that's what I'm talking about. All right, let's go in there. Come on, can we get that steel turn meter? Resist again. And then they go in with the cooldown. Not cool. Not cool. Artemage, do your thing. Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah, buddy. Listen, guys, Fabian is the real deal. I'm showing you him in arena right now, but and that's where he's made for arena. He's an absolute just beast, a behemoth, a proverbial menace in the arena, right? People are gonna be so sick of this dude if you're not already in the arena. But do not sleep on this dude in wave content as well, right? I think this is beautiful, man. It's a pretty a short showcase, but I mean, you guys know Fabian at this point. I have a lot of longer content out there on him. Let's just do one more quick cleanup. Yeah, let's go out to this team. This is Cheshire Cat, by the way, guys. I don't have him, but man, I wish I did. This guy he's got to be the strongest legendary spirit nuker in the game. Don't you guys think? I mean, he is absolutely, he's wrecked me so badly sometimes, or a few times, I should say. All right, let's go in there. I love the, get in there and get Cheshire out of here, man. All right, let's go ahead and get Lady Noelle. Petrification, I mean, look at all this control that he brings to the table. Isn't it insane, really? Boom, Artemage, just doing what Artemage does. Man, what a fun little squad I got here, huh, guys? Guys, we're going to end it there. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Even if you can't pull off some of the higher-end builds, hopefully it's motivated you to get more out of this amazing, amazing champion. Thanks for watching all the way till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.